now Astralis with our first ban. Interesting one is they're going to knock out Yana.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Very smart ban here, thinking on that big brain level here for Villa. Yana not only amazing to try and clear out a lot of these rooms and stuff like that, get you a solid info game going on the offense, but also fantastic at clearing out laser gates from Aruni. So we're more than likely going to see Astralis leaning into that, forcing Beast Coast to give up utility rather than a clone that just comes back in a handful of seconds. Nick also going to be a pretty obvious ban for the offense. She's pretty sneaky, and Villa happens to be the map that you can be the sneakiest. Lots of areas to work your way in, unbeknownst to the defense. And speaking of defense, we've got those bans on the docket as well. It's going to be Azami and Valkyrie. And, well, if you've been playing Siege at all, you know exactly why those fall in. Get rid of those cameras, get rid of those kunai knives. It can make some extra, cover to play around. And now we got ourselves a ball game. We're going to have Beast Coast on offense, Astralis on defense, and we're going to be starting things in really the only place that you can start Villa, in my mind, AVG.
Yep, we have been seeing teams shift over towards the trophy start from time to time as well, but between the two sites, it's still very much the go-to inside of the North American region, so that's going to be where we start things out here. As usual, Shotgun's going to be popping off as there's a lot of reconstruction to be done for Astralis here to open up pathways. They're also going to be opening up some top-down angles, too, to try and avoid the early clear from Beast Coast to be going down into areas like Art Studio there, giving them angles to play back into that, and potentially some late-round flanks to play from below as well. We sometimes rarely will see that pop up there in a clutch scenario if it's needed for the defense to potentially be able to use that. In terms of operator picks, so really not much that's going to be surprising us here when it comes to the defensive side of things. Iconic, of course, adding a mirror in will give that very annoying angle to the defense here that Beast Coast will have to contend against. And aside from that, it's either going to be intel or utility mitigation, or just, of course, a good old slowdown from DP fire on the smoke.
Yeah, a lot more going on this mid-floor than we usually see around, things like Art Studio and other areas. Obviously, we are used to seeing an extension here over towards the trophy statuary side, as a lot of teams really like starting things off inside of Master, but there's the final piece of the puzzle there. The other mirror is going to go downstairs inside of Piano and make the clear across the map really difficult for BC. Astralis is going to get ahead of them early on here. That's positioning of Shuttle as of right now. He's got J90 in tow to be able to assist with this, but if Beast Coast try and go completely around this, circumnavigate, move their way towards the other end of the map, they still have to deal with Iconic setup down low. If they don't get him out, then he can just play inside of Art Studio and try and be a nuisance through those angles we saw them set up earlier. So Astralis, so much going on here that Beast Coast is going to have to try and get a little bit of info on, try and keep track of here going into these next 2 minutes.
Shuttle waiting to see if there's going to be a play opportunity showing up here in Master at any point. Either way, great time wasting coming out so far from the Astralis side of things. Beast Coast will put out, I believe it's going to be their first E1D, and indeed that will be the case to try and suss out the intel from players like Shuttle and a few of the others messing around here closer to Statuary, but none of that really going to be given out, unfortunately, as there's not any pressure to counteract it. Drones will sneak in from the roof, and eventually Forest will come dashing up through those Astro stairs, surprising Xeno and taking him down outright, removing the sledge from play as well. Not a make or break for this round specifically, but they'll have to watch out for that in a later round, as they'll be wanting to keep him alive, obviously, for the top-down openings.
Yeah, now Forrest can just play downstairs and be annoying. He can go for a flank again against BC. He can rotate across and come up red because Astralis have that entire setup inside of Piano to occupy the hallway. I mean, this is going swimmingly right now for Astralis. The timer is the big differential here for Beast Coast. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, and they're stuck on the north side of the map. They haven't even made a forward push for bench just yet. They're stuck back in these 2 rooms, and not only that, but Shuttle has this cut here. And again, just a reminder, this is going to be really easy for him to hold on to, given the fact of Iconic's positioning.
Time going to continue to tick down here, and Beast Coast still going to be worse for wear in terms of figuring out what exactly they want to try and lean their strategy towards here. They have been able to finally take control of the upstairs partition of the statuary area of the map, and DP Fire will actually be caught out by Anthony, so not the end of the world just yet here for Beast Coast. It's been a struggle, to say the least, to get themselves set up for this late round play, but there might still be a little bit of something to cook out here. We also have seen the fallback of that other extended player deeper into Kitchen from Astralis, so they're going to more than likely be able to wrap their way up through main stairs and support the actual hold. Iconic very much could be make or break here as well with that Nitro cell to stun out the rest of the push coming back in through Death's Door. In a second, Forest will also take out another player attempting to work their way in. Entry attempt is going through. Here's Iconic's time to shine with that Nitro, and it'll work out well to deny the plant. Still, of course, seeing a successful entry kill be made by the players on Beast Coast, and now another one picked up also here. Down to just 2 alive for Astralis as that final plant being put down onto the ground, and Slash will successfully be able to lock it in. Smoke will block out any immediate play potential from Iconic, and now Forrest, he'll move forward, knock out one with the shotgun, get a second one on top of that for a quad on the round as Astralis takes swift control of the first round overall.
Astralis playing their setup to a T. I especially love Forrest's patience in sight, allowing Iconic to get his task done down low. They had that prevention. They were willing to play it down to that timer, and it works out so very well for them, especially with Iconic quickly rotating up red. A huge distraction, especially with an operator like Mira. You know, one speeds are just very, very loud whenever they sprint around the map, so everyone is immediately focused on his location. That frees things up, allowing Forrest to continue on that dominant path and take down the last 2 members of BC. So what a round from Astralis across the board. I mean, whatever way you want to look at it, from frags, from strategy, it was all just extremely stellar.
Very much the case. Beast Coast just kind of trudging along, hoping they would be able to make things work in their push, coming from the statuary side and then eventually working their way through Death's Door into the site. Unfortunately, not a good plan ultimately, as Astralis had counters for it set up and then some. Right from the Nitro cell that Iconic was prepping down below to the right shotgun play from Forrest, and even his own aggressive extensions out from the interior partition of the site. Nicely played by him to pick up a quad in the very first round. Let's wait and see what else he's able to do over the course of this matchup. Astralis, of course, will move along to the next expected site here. We are going to have a mirror window along with a small amount of utility. You can see an ADS, probably 1 or 2 other things positioned here inside of AVG as well. Once again, since the extension wasted a lot of time in the last round, they'll commit a bit more utility to it this time too, in hopes of accomplishing the same thing should Beast Coast try to clear things out from the south side.
Yeah, not the exact same strategies we've seen Astralis use on Villa before, but same general game plan, trying to hold map control, force the offense to take it away from you, and they are either exchanging that out for utility or time, or in some instances both, if they're you know, going about things in a lackadaisical manner, which is kind of what we saw from BC the last time, but this time they're hopping 2, not even 40 seconds off the clock, and Anthony, of all people, has the opening kill. John, that's his first opener of the entire stage.
Nicely done from him. Either way, it'll be a nice cross here to be able to catch Shuttle. A bit of an unorthodox position, so we'll cut him off mid-transition, heading into tarps there. Give Beast Coast, of course, that opening advantage to play into as well from a 5v4, but the rest of the players on Beast Coast still need to get themselves the interior access. Fire going to come through. Thankfully, it's heading towards the ceiling to take out the camera up above, so Forrest will not become a victim of that. Just due to poor timing, he'll be able to fall back deeper into the master bath, where he's going to actually camp out here. Wait to see if there's going to be any play potential for himself. Look at the window for a second there, but definitely not wanting to take a risk on that. That is almost certainty of a trade, even if you get that opening kill. So he'll head down the stairs instead and wait to see what's next for Beast Coast.
Zeno with the position of the Sentry right now, actually inside of the red stairwell here. Astralis still really focused on this top clear by BC, but Zeno could slip through the cracks and start dealing some serious damage to this site setup. Fortunately enough, Astralis, they've got their eyes dead set on a lot of these entry points. J9O will go down to Zeno as he simply rotates in. He'll get gunned down by Iconic, and now DP fire. He's going to try and rotate up red. Mark will take down Forrest, but where's Iconic at? He's actually upstairs as well. So now the site completely open, but Beast Coast might not be aware of this as the 2 remaining Astralis members try and get things done from upstairs.
Should overall have a good amount of control here as they move themselves forward, but there is still some delay to be thrown out by the defense, such as Iconic right here with the cross from the inside of Statuary. He takes out the first player attempting to move into Master Bedroom. They fall down to that, and he'll be able to peel away after that, too. I was expecting a pretty quick reaction to come in from the other 3 members of Beast Coast, but they've been slow to follow things through. So he'll be allowed to get a second Toxic Babe off. Has the cross established once again for the breach that's been made over in Master. Anthony paying attention to that doorway closer to Statuary as well, just to make sure that Iconic isn't trying to make some sort of last-second play here to get an aggro onto these 3 remaining players. And once again, Beast Coast, their second guessing is getting the better of themselves here, wasting a lot of time that they could use to get themselves closer to the plan. Iconic now ready to make a move forward, but the timing is paid out much more promisingly for Beast Coast on that secondary push to the inside as they catch both of the remaining members of Astralis unaware as to where they're even being shot from.
Great round, specifically from Anthony as well, getting the opener as well as that entry kill there onto Iconic, who was trying to play the timing for the swing on the master door. Great stuff from BC, making sure to use their advantage to its maximum potential. Astralis, a lot going on there, some very solid decisions, but I'd say, you know, a lot of what we saw with the initial aggression, Beast Coast was really able to get a hamper on, especially for Zeno and his positioning around red. red stairs. I think that really caught Astralis off guard, and honestly, me as well. With Astralis's just body language, I was honestly assuming that we were in kitchen until we teleported upstairs. I was like, oh, the bomb chassis are in here. That's a little awkward, isn't it? So yeah, but either way, you know, very well done from Beast Coast there, especially with the understanding that Astralis more than likely looking for some aggressive plays to try and pull on them early and securing those kills because of it.
10 seconds to go.
Right, so Beast Coast looking to try and make their mark here on the attacking side by netting themselves a second round. Did a good job of isolating out the presence for Astralis in the downstairs partition of the map. Kind of on a one-by-one basis there to be able to allow them to take control of things that they then swung that advantage, of course, from the 4v2 into the rest of the site. Things got a little bit dicey in that 4v2 clear, but still able to ultimately take it without too much of an issue at the end of the day. Leaves them tied now at 1-1 with Astralis looking to make up the difference now with another very spread out opener to round 3. They're going to be trying to see what they can pick off early from Beast Coast. Beast Coast, as usual, taking a nice slow route to this clear, wanting to play heavily into the intel, so we shouldn't expect anything crazy to come from them for the first minute or two at a minimum.
I love the game plan from Astralis here. They see that Beast Coast is trying to play this down to the maximum that the timer will allow. So what are they going to do, John? Well, they're going to get in the way of that. They're going to put some Banshees down, some Goo Mines, maybe some EED, or I almost said EE1Ds. You got to love that you have EDDs and EE1Ds in the same game. So, but either way, Capcan and his EDDs placed around to, again, just put an obstacle in front of Beast Coast, make them second-guess some of these entries, or potentially lose half their health. And past that, they have all that info being worked in by J90 as well with the Pulse. Force is actually going to be able to take down Slash, or still barrel his way into Tarps, but that's the only person home, at least in the building for now, for BC. The rest of this moment, well, it's mostly focused on the top floor, as Anthony is actually across the entire building. He just entried in through study as he starts working his way in towards 90.
Anthony's going to proceed over towards the back hallway here and attempt to continue clearing things out, but anything that would have been able to be cleared is already long gone for Astralis, so just checking the doorways to make sure there's no EDD surprises waiting for him as he continues to clear things out closer to Astro. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, you can see J90 just keeping an eye out on the side of the building, closer towards Laundry side, I do believe, waiting to see if there's going to be any play potential lined up for Beast Coast to try to make a swing towards the Laundry entrance, get themselves in. Does not look like that's necessarily the case, although we do have Mark sitting on the outside of it. This could be something they're going to lean towards later on in the round here. And actually, just correct myself, Mark's sitting outside of Mudroom right now.
BC and get control of the top floor, but as we said, this is where these traps and their potential for the round skyrockets, practically worth their weight in gold. Longer and longer we await Beast Coast. Lots of angles on this top floor now for them to try and abuse, but Astralis not giving them a single look. Surf going to try and work his way in. Walks in, actually gets all the way up onto Tetris. I think he's even surprised that he's made it this far without a single person trying to take him out. Anthony will take down J90. Surf calming this to this team. He'll get Mark inside. There's still 4 people alive, by the way, on the defense. Shuttle will go down. No one's working their way back in from Pantry. They're done and dusted. It's all left up to Forrest, the man that got the opening kill of the round, but now he's on the receiving end of Beast Coast. Beast Coast, some nice swings. It'll be Mark to deal the death blow, and BC take the lead over Astralis.
Astralis is playing way too heavy.
Right, even when you're down scores like they are right now, they're still cool, calm, and collected, and willing to try and get this job done. So past that, Astralis will be launched back into the game here for round 4. We're back to an Aviator defense, and that means that Iconic will be back downstairs inside of Piano.
All right, well, Astralis looking to try and quickly course correct now on their second go of sights. They've been able to complete that first wrap. Only locking in the initial round on AVG for themselves. Otherwise, it all goes over to Beast Coast. We do have Anthony going over towards an Ash pick for the first round here.
Super's really lucky, you know. If he was still in the league, Anthony be coming for his job.
So he's going to hop onto that. We'll see what that potentially gives us. Aside from that, though, it is going to be, once again, your usual clear utility here to be able to get access to AVG. The Ying is going to be the big wrinkle that comes in as a new element for Beast Coast for this second attempt here, trying to give them that extra boom to get them into the actual site. And this is actually a pretty good adjustment here because Beast Coast eventually did make it to the site entry, but failed outright to work their way past that point. So this should hopefully alleviate that concern in a pretty simple way and make things a bit smoother. But they still have to get through the early round as well, and that's been another point of pain for Beast Coast so far.
Yeah, all thanks to a man with an obsession with one-way mirrors and a love for classical music as he sits in Piano. But Astralis, yeah, a fantastic round the first time that they were able to kind of pull the wool over the eyes of Beast Coast and force them into that top clear, not really paying Iconic any mind, and that was the big issue. They got Nitro celled, and then a nice flank from him allows Forrest to get the flank off through Gunvault and catch both of the remaining BC members. Shuttle actually going to start trying to get a little aggressive. Mark's going to punch a window and immediately be met with cannon fodder, but none of it going to be lethal. Just a few bullets into the chest. Never hurt anybody, right? That's how that works. Surf is actually going to be the first one to go down. Lots of Candelas out for Slash, but no kills just yet. R4C in hand. Anthony swings into Shuttle. He'll take him out, and that's going to be the second EE1D as well for Mark.
Good adjustment from Anthony there, once again being the hero for Beast Coast inside of not only this round, but the previous ones that have been played out also. Iconic now taking a position on the red stairs. He'll wait for his next frag opportunity. Will very well have that coming his way soon. Slash a little bit cautious of what could be hiding out in tarp, so he's going to chuck out one of the Candelas just to alleviate his concerns here. Only saving one now for the site execute, but in reality, that's all that should be needed at the end of the day. So we'll wait and see if he's going to get the opportunity to actually throw that one. He will have to work past Iconic just to get to that point. Never mind, you DP Fire is also positioned at the very end of 90, and the two players upstairs. That will probably be their primary concern before they worry too much about Iconic sitting lower down on the staircase.
Yeah, this round is still on a knife's edge here. These next engagements are really going to be the deciders. Slash starting it off strong for the offense, which means that the defense has to come back. DP Fire is going to go down. Beast Coast, there's no way that this is lining up to be a BC-dominated offense, as Iconic will be able to at least pick up a downed Anthony. Still 3-2 in favor of BC. Iconic trying to hold things down on red. He has that Banshee in tow, but he's got two people at the top of the stairwell. It could dawn his location at a moment's notice. I believe that might be a frag grenade. A little worried there. Doesn't seem like anything's actually going to end up going off, so could have been a little piece of a different utility at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter. Not going to be lethal to either Iconic or that Banshee. They know he's there as well. The pings keep coming out. Slash will take down J9, and Mark will end Iconic. The timeout does nothing. BC up 3-1.
Astralis once again out and about all over the place across the map, and that is to some extent what Villa demands of a team as well here, but Astralis playing into that a little bit too heavily and leaving those constant opportunities open for Beast Coast to knock them out. They've been doing so for the past 2 rounds at a minimum here, giving them a massive lead over Astralis, one that I don't think anyone really expected to see here. If not 3 in a row. In fact, yeah, I think it is 3 in a row now from Beast Coast as we're going to continue the run from Astralis. They'll move over to Trophy and Statuary for the upcoming round 5. But again, things went awry on the last hold here as well. So how are they going to make up the difference quickly enough as well as Beast Coast is just on a warpath now? We could very easily end up at 5-1 with the way this game's going.
Yeah, we saw Astralis for their last defense here have a lot of bodies down in the mid floor trying to play around kitchen, Red Hall, library, just that kind of area. And, you know, try and make sure that Beast Coast couldn't try and get control over that mid floor. But the big problem is that they forgot about the basement. Zeno just sneaks up through, assists his team in getting some big openers, and that's past that initial kill that we saw out of Anthony, which, by the way, has the most kills in the lobby, at least for Beast Coast. Forrest currently sitting at 7 and 3, but his team overall looking like a shell of their former selves. DP Fire all the way through J90, currently sitting on a big old goose egg with, well, 12 deaths in between them. That's not exactly what you expect out of this squad.
All right, well, let's see here now. As the round continues to get deeper into it, we've got Beast Coast starting to line up with their first entry points. Probably going to be some time, of course, before they actually take a risk on it. We've got a few risky positions still out for Astralis. Iconic specifically sitting over here in the walk-in closet corner. He's going to take the gamble on this position. Shuttle, really the lone holder for the actual interior of the site. He's got kind of Iconic and one other member holding the wings for him, but if Beast Coast try to directly pressure to the inside of it, things will get hot pretty quickly here. We're going to see a rotate from that interior site player to try to assist Iconic a little bit. He has been spotted out by a drone now, so his time is going to be limited.
And honestly, I'm scared for Dave here because there's a lot that can go wrong in this position. Yeah, he has ADSs, but they have a Lion and they also have an Ace, so they're going to be able to make a lot more angles for him. They'll probably just end up burning these out and potentially nading him. Hopefully he can at least get one. He'll be able to swing out and actually find himself some space. Iconic able to get past Mark. E1D out, won't be able to lock him down as he'll get out of the clutches of the Lion.
Anthony ready to move forward here, but still needs to line up the rest of these Ash charges. Still going to see a Goyo can alive and well on the inside of Master Bathroom, or Master Bedroom, excuse me, as well. So that will continue to be a problem for this squad. You can see one more still positioned for Iconic just on the outside of those doorways. Slash takes some heat, doesn't know exactly where it's come from though. Will be able to realize onto that, and again, members of Astralis will continue to give him the challenge as well. Only able to go 1-for-1 this time because there's a pinch set out against him, but still surprising he was able to get away with that one alone. As things are brought down to a 4v4 now, they've calmed down a little bit. Anthony finally making his entry into the walk-in, trying to move forward, but there's just way too many angles that have been opened up by Astralis. They've turned this into a shooting gallery, and Beast Coast doesn't know the way to the high score just yet. J9O nearly gets that swing and a hit, but it's a nade from the other side that'll take him down instead, as Beast Coast are still making this work.
Very well done. Sledge caught completely off guard by Forrest, but Anthony, he's taken out J9O. Oh my, Beast Coast looking to take another round away from Astralis, but no drones. Doesn't seem like it's going to really affect Mark or Surf, as they're going to be able to take down 2 members of AST. Now it's all down to Forrest, the man with the most kills in the lobby. He's got Astralis in a duffel bag right now in the kill department, and he's got to do it 2 more times. Make it 1 more time for Forrest. It's a triple kill on the round. It's up to Surf to try and bring this back. He's sprinting. He's diving. He doesn't have case control, but now he knows where the last man is. Forrest tries to pre-fire. BC, what is happening right now in Italy?
Things just continue to get worse and worse for Astralis as well, trying to play around each other, but that support just not seeing it happen. When the fights are actually thrusted upon them, it just seems like all the members of Astralis are on their own, off on an island, and that's leading to far too many deaths early in the round, and way too successful of an assault, time after time again from BC.
So I know I said that this was Ford versus Ferrari, but I didn't realize that Beast Coast had a sleeper. Not only is it a sleeper, but it's also just so happens to be a GT40. Like, they're just racing past Astralis right now, man. This is incredible stuff. I can definitely tell you that there is not a single person in this building that assumed that this was going to happen. Beast Coast have looked like a shell of a team, not even their former selves, just a team for the entirety of Stage 3. And just this week alone, they've had a complete 180 from where they started. It's truly amazing what they've been able to do in the last 2 weeks.
Definitely the case. Excellently played from Beast Coast so far here, latching on to the problems that Astralis have been showing inside of this matchup and abusing them at every single turn here. Astralis has just not been able to cover their butts as of yet. That's leading to a heck of a lot of problems here. At least a 4-2 can still be stabilized on this final round, but they're going to need to lock it in, and we're still seeing notes of the same strategy being deployed here. So the very same problems that they were dealing with in the past 5 rounds are going to continue to pop back up here. Players not necessarily in the best positions to support each other. That's going to leave plenty of room open for Beast Coast to isolate them out one by one and take them down. Astralis need to avoid that at all costs here and keep their full team alive as close to the end of the round as possible. They're just losing far too many players at the moment.
Yeah, if this ends up being a 5-1 in favor of Beast Coast, Astralis needs to take a really hard look in the mirror and think about this Yana ban, because it hasn't slowed down Beast Coast at all. And not only that, but we're not seeing anything where, you know, really having Yana in play would have been the biggest deal ever for Beast Coast. The biggest problem right now for Astralis is Lion. Lion is getting in the way of everything for them. They can't rotate how they want to. They can't take fights how they want to. It's basically just making them a stick in the mud whenever they click that button. They're not allowed to do very much, and Beast Coast are exploiting that to its maximum potential. So for Astralis, see if they can try and get round 6 here and at least mitigate the damage as much as possible.
Play coming in from Slash. He's taking no prisoners here. That's what we needed to see, though. That's what we've been lacking in previous rounds, is that snapshot trade from Astralis. It doesn't seem to matter, though, yeah. As Stokes was mentioning, Surf able to work his way forward, trade out the trade that was found for the defense. Forrest trying to make up the difference again, though, as he finds Anthony trying to work his way in. Started from mud and tried to move forward past that, but Forrest able to shut things down. At least we'll be able to control the other half of the building across the way from the site in living room, distracting players like Zeno now and making them focus on that and not this site take.
Well, a 3v3 here, but the site in favor of Beast Coast. Selma's out. Surf has got case. He should start plant here very soon. There it goes. Mark will be occupying the crosses here for Kitchen as well as China. What a shot from DP Fire. The timing working out so very well. A nice move from him. He'll take out the second one. Astralis, they might get through this round, even though BC had such an amazing start to it. Astralis, they fight back from outside of the site to at least pick up 2 rounds on their defense.
finally making that adjustment that we needed to see for quite a few rounds. They're going to be able to bring things back under their own control finally. As you said, a second round up on the board, but now it's still put them in a bit of a dire position going into the second half as their opponents only need the remaining quarter, or a remaining quarter of the game to be able to close things out here. 3 rounds are all that BC need, and there's still 2 to go for the Astralis players just to be able to tie things up. Moving on to the attacking side, we shouldn't have those formation issues any longer, shouldn't have much of a problem playing together as a team, but at the same time, we'll have to wait and see what Beast Coast has cooked up on the defense. We've seen some massive improvements to the attacking side, and I would reckon we're going to get a little bit of that on the defense as well.
What in the Fragger lineup is Astralis running right now? We have Ace, Sledge, Zoe, Ash, and
might be
Twitch.
a quick one.
This is like, if you guys have ever seen a champ lobby in your life, this is exactly what it looks like.
Oh,
and then Forrest is going to go to Blitz. No, yep, this is definitely
going to be a quick one.
Yeah, this is
going to be a quick.
Well, we're doing some crazy stuff here, and I'm totally about it. Just as a reminder, Forrest not only has the most kills in the lobby, he's the only one at double digits by a large margin.
You're going to put him on the
person
shield.
Is Anthony with 6 kills. This man's currently 12-4, and he's on Blitz.
So let's see how this strategy works out for Astralis.
I love it.
We've got DP Fire at 2-5, Shuttle at 0-6, J9 at 1-6, and finally Iconic as well, a little bit closer to Forest there at 4-4 as well. So going to try and put all the effort onto Forest here to try to make their way forward. It's not going to be as fast as we initially thought we would be seeing here. I was expecting something crazy from these guys, but a little difficult to achieve both on Villa overall and for the site that we're playing into. So do need to cook this one up a little bit more apparently for Astralis as they're going to be trying to drone their way over here towards 90. You can see, though, that Forest is very much lined up, and there's no way he's going to go for, like, foot shots here, right? Like,
oh, of course. This drone hole, John, this drone hole is iconic, and I'm not making a pun. I'm really not. Like, the amount of dumb things that has happened to me or I have done to people through this drone hole, it's too much. Honestly, it's way too much. Yeah, I've been naded through that drone hole. That's why you put a disc. Like, I'm just telling you, like, Siege players know no bounds, man. If there's some way that they can potentially kill you, it's gonna happen. Like, oh my. Forest, are we going for it, my friend?
Smoked it.
Yeah, smoked off. Looks like they're gonna do a lot more than smoke it. Nitro Cell out, he's gonna rush through, bull-headed. He's not gonna take any damage. He will find himself a slash that has no idea a blitz is working their way into his location. DP Fire will pick up one as well. BC on the worst end of this thing, as it's currently a 4-3 man count in favor of Astralis.
Forrest unfortunately stuck now as he made this play pretty much solo, and he's going to need to have his teammates rotate over to be able to support him a lot better. Despite the solo play, he got another kill though, and so did J9O. DP Fire just with a quick peek to finish this off as Astralis close out that round in one of the most fantastic ways I've ever seen.
I mean, who would have guessed that if you had like a really mechanically gifted lineup, John, like everybody on the team was a gunner, right?
It was just like,
and then you gave them all really good guns and a blitz shield.
I'm just more curious, like, what was the overarching strategy for that round as well? Because it was just like, everybody was like, there was like 2 groups of 2 and then the shield. Well, and they were just like kind of doing their own thing.
There's no like there's the way you need to think
about Siege. Didn't really connect together that well.
Yeah, but the way you got to think about the Siege round in general is like you have the start and you have the end. The middle, it's gonna be what it is, right? So like yeah, their main strategy was we're gonna take like top control and try and get some picks on these players up top with blitz, you know, try and work them into 90. But it just so happened that Astralis killed literally everybody, and they're like, all right, well I guess we just walk at the site, you know, like hey, screw it, why not? There's 3 people dead now. We might as well go try and find the last 2. And yeah, I think that's a much better way of doing things, keeping that pace, make it to where Beast Coast stays discombobulated instead of immediately slowing things down to a grinding halt and being like, okay, let's sit here and drone for a minute and a half and see if we can find these last 2 players. We have a blitz, we have so many guns and players that can play off of each other, and probably a decent amount of info even on top of that, past what you've already cleared and everything. So I think that like it was just more of a means to an end for Astralis than it was an overarching strategy. They're like, oh, well, if the earlier game goes well, we'll just try and snowball it. Past that, though, Beast Coast will maintain the lead walking into round 8, but this is the opportunity for Astralis to tie things up, and they've definitely got that in mind. They're going to be switching things up for DP Fire. He's now over to the Logic Bombs on Dokkaebi.
All right, so Astralis with another opportunity to surprise us here with their excellent strategy. We'll see as things will probably return to a more normal chain of events this time, just given the operator lineup and the way that they're currently playing things out. That doesn't mean they're not going to do it quickly, though, as I know we saw already one player hopping back in. Yes, you know, it is going to be him, but it's just going to be from another perspective, as it'll end up being the Thorn Trap that'll end up taking down Shuttle here, so he'll get knocked out by that. J9O, like we were talking about before, the very quick play being made by him to clear things out over here towards trophy and statuary. He's already been able to clear out the trophy side. Statuary should be by default cleared out as well since they have a pinch on it. So just about moving past this now, getting themselves over towards AVG.
Kind of going to hop outside. Not actually going to get rid of the Banshee, funny enough. Don't exactly know why he didn't do that. It was just as simple as shooting
more
thing.
important
But
things to do.
Bigger things on Batman's list. There's a lot of crime in the cities of Italy. Anthony, me holding things down in sight as with the rest of Beast Coast. Not too much going on just yet as Astralis needs to open up a couple of different areas, including the gun vault that they're looking to do right now. J90, one impact in, the second one in, but you know what the problem is? There's a mute jammer probably on the other end of the wall that's holding things up rather than being directly there. Oh no, it really is there. I think that the actual, the suitcase probably blocked the splash and didn't get the mute jammer. That's so unfortunate for Astralis. My God, Surf. He's trying to put him 1 foot in the grave. Beast Coast double down. DP Fire will finally get something back into the offensive favor, but it's definitely not the round just yet.
Astralis caught with their pants down on both of those peaks there. Did not have the intel for either of those players, or at very minimum, we're not expecting a push at that timing. Zeno will bring it down to 1 for Astralis as he's able to knock down DP Fire. So J90 sits alone. He's able to move himself to the interior of the site at a minimum here, but Zeno, I think he was like just after a reload there or something too. I saw the animation, right? He's able to close it down.
It was mid-reload animation.
Mid-reload animation, cancels it, shuts him down. Very well played by Zeno and the rest of BC to quickly rebound after that chaotic first round of the half. Take back their control now, what should be 5-3.
Okay, well, Beast Coast. I'm truthfully astounded that we're at this point. I thought that we'd at least have somewhat of a good game on our hands. You know, I was thinking like a 7-3, 7-4 in favor of Astralis. But this has completely turned around my expectations for Beast Coast, at least for the near future. Either that or Astralis are just not looking that good. But honestly, I think Beast Coast are just making some very solid decisions. Astralis are also overplaying their hand a little bit in certain situations, which are allowing quite a few of these kills to come through. But the big thing is that it's like Astralis has been kneecapped when it comes to their frag potential. You know, J90 2-7, Shuttle 0-8. DP Fires came back in a certain sense, right? 5-6. But then you look down at Iconic, one of the biggest names on this entire list, and he's only 4-5. It's really just Forrest that has, you know, that entire gold pile that he's sitting on here at 14 kills. And really that's only happening because there's so many bodies around to still frag on. You know, nobody else is really getting kills right now for Astralis, so Forrest has to do so much just to make sure that they can get these rounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of it ends up just being stat padding at the end of the day as it doesn't close out the round itself. Won't contribute to
almost a 3.0 KDA right now.
Yep, I'm very curious to see what the stats for like cost want to look like for him at the end of this game as well. Just
100% in every category.
Yeah, would still probably end up being pretty good. But yeah, we've got a lot of these rounds where he's picking up plenty of frags, but unfortunately they're like frags in the dead of the round when he's already in a 1vx, so not contributing a whole lot to the end of it. See slow play here from Astralis as they're going to take a bit more of a cautious note. They've been noticing, of course, obviously them proceeding onwards without the highest amount of caution has led to quite a few slippery situations where it's ended up getting away from them. So I think they're going to try and make extra short of themselves before proceeding forward this time. That will be a bit of a tectonic shift as far as Beast Coast is concerned. So they're going to have to adjust for this as well, but obviously won't have to worry about that for some time.
It's been a little while since we got to see this gun, hasn't it, John? The TCSG in the hands of Zeno. As the suppressor's got a little bit of a change, it's that single attachment for that, and also as the 2 times, as the AUG doesn't have a 1.5 anymore. But some actions happened whilst we were discussing. DP Fire goes down. He does get his Selma charge off, though, so they'll at least open up part of the triple wall here for Master. Force EMP takes out a majority of the equipment, but just to remind you, it doesn't destroy things any longer like it did a handful of years ago. It just disables it for some time and allows Astralis to either shoot it or do whatever they need to do in order to actually get it destroyed. A Nitro Cell will be out on this single panel here, seeing if Astralis wants to rotate in through Bookshelf. Forrest will take down Slash. That was the Alda-wielding player at the back of the site, but Astralis not wanting to push ahead just yet, so very scared of the potential of how this could end.
Big play coming in now from Astralis. They move their way forward, but have not been able to account for Zeno deeper into the site itself. He can only go for 1, though, as Iconic trades him back, leaving us into a 3v2. And mind you, this is the offsite play. Surf now able to activate from the actual site itself, but again, Iconic making up the difference. He trades it out 1 for 1. Anthony left alone. He's not been able to account for the player deeper onto the inside. But still is able to find out at least the first. No, won't get that confirmation. Iconic again will make up the difference as he saves the day here. Really comes alive for the first time in this round to make up the difference and lock in a very important round for his team.
Nicely done. Good patience from Astralis, especially on the clear over on the AVG side. Had to respect the Nitro Cell there on the soft paneling. Did not want to try and swing for that door, and you really can't blame them. I'd be pretty antsy in that situation as well. But not only that, they found another way to quickly dispatch most of Beast Coast in that area, which was that shift over to study, barrel themselves through the wall, into planes, and then try and take those fights, get that done, and then they're able to energize themselves, put that battery in their back, and push themselves towards sight, getting themselves within one of Beast Coast and really looking to tie things up here. They do not want to allow BC onto map point. Definitely
not a game you want your opponents to get away with as well here, given the kind of rockier standings you can see for Astralis. They're sitting at number 7 currently in the standings here. A 1-3 record will certainly leave them in a bit of a delicate position with regard to trying to qualify for the major here. And given Beast Coast's prior performance, this is one that they would expect to take outright here, but are struggling quite a bit. Even ending up in overtime might be seen as a bit of an L here for Astralis, just in the fact that they would have definitely wanted the full 3 points from this one. And if Beast Coast is even able to steal one of those away, definitely not going to be a happy day in the post-game talks for the Astralis roster. But Beast Coast, I think they've got a lot to be happy about from this game, regardless of the outcome from this point forward. But if they can give us the full set and rack themselves right up to 7, it'll make the day a heck of a lot better.
Yes, indeed. Astralis looking to string together as many rounds as they can muster at the current moment. I'm really hoping that they can get this done in regulation. They want to lose as minimal points as possible. The big thing right now for them is going to be the clearing of these roamers, or at least getting info on where they lie. We're going to have the logic bombs from Iconic to do that. Forrest has some more pointed info utility in the likes of the Inox, and he's going to be clearing out the basement where we saw Beast Coast motioning through quite often on their offense, but Astralis never really having a defender down low. I believe Forrest used it as a means of travel a singular time on the entirety of their defense. And as you can see, the floor lies barren in Forrest's eyes, so no info just for him yet, but he still made it all the way over to Red Stairs, so that does have some merit.
First frag of the round finally shows up, this time for Forrest here, as Astralis is going to be able to move in and take that away from Mark, knocking him down, and giving, of course, Astralis the opening advantage to play with. Zeno still going to be waiting for his chance to frag things back for BC as he's tucked deep onto the inside of Master Bedroom here. No opportunity being gifted to him just yet. Another phone call going to come out here. We should expect some follow-through on that from Astralis. Surf, at the very minimum, able to, I think, avoid that by getting himself closer towards a mute jammer, but still not seeing that actual play come in from the Astralis roster just yet. They're taking their time and now moving in somewhat lackadaisically will lead to the death of Forrest. J9O, though, will still find the exchange in Master Bedroom against Zeno.
J9O propels himself up red. He'll get rid of the Banshee. Should be a telltale sign that he is here, but nobody more than likely an earshot. Slash, it's a lot bigger fish to fry. Anthony's worried about the double doors here, seeing if somebody will try and rotate in through Boar. Surf on a late flank here. He's going to find himself a J9O. Nice little clear here from Beast Coast, and this is starting to look like Astralis could be letting this slip through their fingers. A nice swing from Slash, but Shuttle will shut it down. His second kill, his third kill of the game when they need him most. The glasses, come on! Astralis tie it up at 5-5.
For the players on Beast Coast, losing their edge here now.
Look at this man here. Shuttle's like, yeah, just another day in the office, baby. Yeah, Shuttle, we get it. You're cool, man. We got it.
And so for the players on Beast Coast, finally losing their collective, not able to bring things together here. I've been working so hard towards it. And even moving into this half, things started out well, able to claim around there. But ever since Astralis has been able to slow things down, take a much more cautious approach to the round-around basis, it has been looking way better for them on their attacks here. Now they've been able to tie it up outright. So it's time for Beast Coast to show us a big adjustment here. We are going to see a pretty big departure from normality in terms of their site choice. They're going to head downstairs into living room. We'll see if this shakes things up enough for Astralis to make another mistake and finally get Beast Coast on the map and match point.
I honestly love the way we've been seeing Astralis Astralis use the openers for their rounds, especially on this offensive side. They're leaving a lot in the, up in the air so that Beast Coast has to try and figure things out themselves instead of this, very bullheaded way of just taking the map, rushing in, taking these fights. They're taking their time, working the map from the outside of the building, or trying to find some areas that they can actually slip into the map unbeknownst to Beast Coast. And that forces BC to try and think about what Astralis is doing with this time, right? If you don't have any read on where somebody could potentially be, you're now going to be a little worried as to what they're doing. And Astralis able to slip Forest in downstairs and get in behind Beast Coast, getting that first big kill that was practically the domino effect to really set things up for Astralis throughout the remainder of that round. Fantastic job. And now, after tying things up, looking to take the lead here in round 11.
It's all going to go quiet across the map here. No one really wanting to challenge the other squad just yet, especially so on Villa with how cautious things have been played out here. Astralis are going to proceed, it looks like, primarily over towards the kitchen as well as master areas of the map to start their take over there. Be pretty heavy on the drones, of course, to begin with, just to make sure there's no one that's going to try and contest them on the inside of places like kitchen. So we'll see them eventually now move in without too much of a delay afterwards. Shuttle Forest already on the inside. We should see the rest of the team following through on that pretty quickly as well, as Shuttle's going to begin to opening up the top downs here. And of course, probably to hop back onto his drone too to make sure we didn't see that usual extension for Beast Coast going up to the second floor. Beast Coast have not set up for that kind of traditional gun vault play that we oftentimes see a lot of teams going for against the both sides of this dresser here.
That could be worrying. Mostly because of the angles that play in towards that fireplace area that we saw that Flores drone go down. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those angles upstairs are extremely pivotal to trying to prevent the take from this side of the map.
Them, though.
Yeah, but is anybody occupying them? That's the big question. They know that this is more than likely the take now from the BC point of view because they saw Forest in this position. So they're looking to see if there's going to be any way that they try and take through this top floor, but nothing's happening just yet. Surf is going to be able to take down DP Fire. J9O now starting to take some heat. Forest, he's worked his way in with Osa. They don't even have to do this the traditional way. This spot inside of living room is so hard to try and bunker bust. There's not an angle in the world that can assist Beast Coast in killing Forest. And actually, the shoe's on the other foot. 18 kills. He'll finally get down by an angle from Mark, but nobody was there to try and take out the man as he rotated in to put down this case. And just right there, Forest. To be honest, John, I was thinking the same thing. You got to help your team. You're upstairs. You're not even occupying a damn angle to assist your team. That's a bait in my book, my friend. So got a little bit of truth behind that alt chat right there.
So Astralis continuing to turn this game around and apparently trying to teach Beast Coast a few lessons along the way here. They take back the lead now, and are going to end up being the first team to make it to match point here, which is somewhat surprising given the way the rest of this game had played out. Seemed like it was in Beast Coast's hands to fumble, and unfortunately, they have fumbled it now. Need to recover on this final round of regulation play, otherwise Astralis take not only the match, but the full 3 points with it. And all the effort from Beast Coast will get them a solid nothing out of this game.
I would be just elated if I'm Beast Coast if they lose this in this fashion, especially after that last round. Again, that big kill coming out of Forest on Osa, that tells you really all you need to know. Osa's not going to be off on an island by herself unless like they've already set up a shield or something and she's going to be playing that area, right? As soon as that kill goes down in tarps and you're playing a living room defense, you're like, oh, okay, they're totally going to be coming for living room. This totally makes sense. Nobody's done anything on the study side. They're not doing anything upstairs, so it's totally got to be this. Not for Beast Coast. No supporting angles from upstairs, nothing at all. Osa literally walks in, if you remember this, past the smoke player, just staring at him through the shield, and walks up right to where he's going to put the bomb down. He's like, all right, so I'm going to put this case down. Don't worry about me, guys. I'll be out in a jiff, I promise. And yeah, that was basically the round. Beast Coast just gifting over the space to Astralis on their living room defense.
I just finished like a very serious monologue. Elated means happy, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Probably he's like distraught.
Yeah, distraught's a better one. Yeah. Man,
anyway,
it's been a long 2 days. All right.
Let's get back to this matchup, though. Soniqs making some very good points there at the end of the day, and now leaving Astralis in pole position to try and shut down this game. But they've only got one chance to do it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Beast Coast could still rally back and bring us to OT still.
How does elated mean happy? It sounds so mad.
I'm pretty sure it does. I'm gonna look like a real idiot now if I'm wrong, but.
No, I'm sure that I was the dummy in this situation, I promise. He's going to Google it, ladies and gents. He's doing it right now. So hopefully nothing too crazy happens in the meantime. Anthony is going to be trying to keep things on lock here for study. J90 rather, going to be inside of Art, but hasn't found anybody's home just yet.
Surf as well, still waiting for a chance to play things out from the inside of the piano here. Sees the door get opened. He's going to get a little bit curious here, but knows what's on the line for this round, so I think his senses get the better of him here. Backs away from it. He's like, nope, I'm going to let this situation play out. And Forrest, nicely done, catches the aggressive moves from Anthony coming up from the bookshelf corner, shuts him down, and gives Astralis the opening kill. A lot of damage returned onto Forrest, however, so he should be an easy trade at a later point in the round, but still, he's in the game, and more importantly, he still has that last Rotero drone to throw out as well.
All right, so official definition, who's elated in this situation?
Oh, I was right. Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah,
so, all right, so I would say Astralis is pretty elated about that pick onto Anthony. Slash going to be swinging for the hills here on bookshelf, but doesn't have anybody on the receiving end just yet. Beast Coast are looking to get it back in blood as they did lose Anthony earlier on. Forrest on a sliver's worth of HP, but he's out of Rotero drones, so he's just a man with another gun and a few stuns to his name. Astralis will probably feed him to the wolves here soon, unless Surf wants to try and go for a play that we saw earlier on. He'll hop out the window at the bottom of red stairs and be dusted by Forrest. It only took a bullet to take him down, but not even one will connect. And in fact, Iconic will be the first one dead for AST.
Slash with a big play, but it's caught out. J90 reads it and is able to shut him down. Zeno, the last hope it seems from the inside as he goes for two. Still up as well, by the way, yet to be traded. So the numbers evened out. Mark will miss an opportunity to catch a player moving in on repels. It's a quick one that swings past him. Trying to decide if it's worth it to swing back out again. DP Fire will take some heat as he's still trying to knock out Zeno as well. Zeno very ready for the fight, shuts him down as he tries to push back in. That'll be his third on the round. It may have very well pushed his team into at least 1 point for this matchup by triggering OT, but DP Fire still with a chance to stop it now. He's going to move forward. Does he catch the door swing? May have heard the footsteps. He's going to make a play for it. Catches him. Loses a lot of HP in the process, but look at it now. Zeno plays this so smart, just runs away from it. He has to know that the case is not on them, and as a result, BC win it on an all-timer and send us to overtime.
We're going to overtime on Villa between the team that doesn't have a win yet in North America and Astralis, which is one of our best teams in the last season of the NAL. It's pretty wild. I'm completely distraught, discombobulated. We're just trying to get as many vocab points as we can here today. Yeah, my 11th grade teacher will be very proud of me. I haven't used loquacious yet, though. We haven't been. We're very talkative, but they aren't, right? So. That was her favorite word. That was the first word my 11th grade teacher ever taught us was, I almost said lackadaisical again, loquacious. And she did that just so she could say it for the entirety of class. Now, literally, the entire year, anytime anybody was talking, she'd be like, you are acting very loquacious right now. Yeah, I need you to stop. I was like, oh, okay, all right, so I see where this is going. But good news is, folks, we've still got a lot of action here left today, not only in this game as we've reached overtime, but John, this is only our second game of the day.
Yep, absolutely, folks. We still got 3 other games coming up. Parker and Nick, of course, are going to be casting on those. So they'll be jumping on the broadcast here in just a little bit. See our community poll results up there on the screen as well. I'd hope Forrest was winning that one, given the performance he's given us inside of this game so far. Surf's been giving us a good show, too, but I think in the cost department, I'm pretty sure Forrest should be acing it out right now.
Yeah, Forrest has the highest credit score out of everybody in this lobby right now. It is immaculate. Man's at a perfect 830 or whatever the top end is. Astralis, though, will be starting things off, obviously trying to work these windows and make sure that nobody tries to swing through and get an early pick. Slash was looking for that there on the bore window, but he discovers nothing, just a few bullets flying by. Astralis looking to try and take control of 90, or at least exert some pressure in the area. Slash is going to try and thwart these plans, though. And this is only going to be 2 pieces of Astralis' puzzle, but it mostly seems focused around this portion of the building. Might try and work their way into study and across here, just maintaining this 90 space as more of a counter angle. making sure that they can't move their way up through. And, you know, if J90 gets in a fight or something like that, could potentially support them if they do try and swing from an angle that they can't cover. Astralis is going to swarm this portion of the building. Iconic is actually going to accidentally drop down the hatch. That wasn't supposed to happen. J90 now off in an island practically, as he is the lone soul in this area. The lone proprietor of Astralis for Plains has the swing and the kill onto Xeno. Saw one on top. Red won't be able to deal anything considerable, but Astralis across the board will, as he'll take down Xeno and Slash.
Astralis making their impact marks known now as Mark, Surf, and Anthony are the last three standing here, trying to fend off the rest of this push from Astralis, with unfortunately just the ghost crew of their remaining squad trying to piece it together, keep themselves well formed as well. You're still going to have one player looks like kind of off on their own, also a little bit deeper down on the first floor, potentially looking to catch some light pushes that may come in through kitchen. More than likely not going to end up happening on this particular round is due to the way that Astralis are trying to clear things out, but still having it prepped down there. It's actually going to be on red stairs, then I get a better picture of things here. Jane, I know, is actually going to be caught as well, trying to proceed through AVG, through Study. So he'll be knocked out there, and he'll bring things into a much more palatable point for Beast Coast, down into a 3 versus 4, assuming that J90 does not get rezzed. It's a good possibility they actually might be able to get him up given where he went down, but Surf as well is there to punish that should someone attempt to bring him back.
Worrisome moment for Astralis. They're hoping to start off on the right foot here in overtime, putting all of that stress on Beast Coast's shoulders, that 7-6 score line, but the shoe may be on the other foot. Moment's notice. One of the clones will get tagged from outside, and that's going to give some solid intel for Beast Coast, at least on one member. J90 will take down Mark. It's a 2 versus 1 versus 5. Iconic will be down, and Surf will dust J90, but there's still so much more to do. We'll have to see what he can get done. The MP5 in hand, but dead to the world now as Astralis bounce back quickly and claim the first OT round.
Nicely done from the players over here on Astralis to bring things back under their control quite quickly as we move into overtime. Now just one more needed to lock things in. It is going to be on their defensive side, though, where a lot of problems were popping up for Astralis earlier in the game. So definitely don't count Beast Coast out of this one just yet. Interesting almost pick there from Mark. They had a Blackbeard saw selected for about 3 seconds. Pretty sure that was a mistake.
He's definitely in meta now. He has EMPs. Come on, you know. His shield isn't made out of paper mache.
The problem is you still have that, like, stigma around Blackbeard, I feel like, to an extent, where, like, if you pick him, you're going to be, like, that guy, like, that picked Blackbeard, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I say?
Exactly, I saw that smile. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Good. That's what I say. I am that guy. Hate me all you want. Your MMR is mine. Oh, my.
I mean, who picks up Blackbeard?
I just can't wait to see one team that brings him for EMPs. Like... I swear, please, anybody that is listening inside of the NAL, just do it one time for me. Just one time. It'd be the greatest joke ever.
It's like picking Caveira to an extent, you know. It's almost like an ego pick.
Yeah,
you know?
kind of in the common day, right? Yeah. Blackbeard's just in a really weird spot because, like, if you make the shield useful at all, he's a broken character. So it's just that's how it is, man.
You don't want to be the one that starts that problem.
Exactly. Yeah, the dev team definitely have kind of like that. That dark
bad.
Yeah. They kind of just have like that odd one out, right? Like just the ugly duckling over there in the corner. So.
He's just kind of GA'd, you know.
Poor guy.
Anyway,
poor guy.
Moving into this round now.
You got to feel for him too, because the other seal is Valkyrie, which is like the most used defender in the whole game. So he really got shafted on that one. But either way, though, Beast Coast looking to stay alive here in OT. Astralis moments away from being able to claim victory, but not ultimately the 3 points that they wanted so badly against Beast Coast when they started this game. If they do end up winning here, they'll claim 2, and Beast Coast will get 1 for their troubles of getting this to overtime. So far, so good for Astralis' setup. Might be a quick trigger pull from Beast Coast as smokes will fly through. J90 actually on the receiving end of quite a bit of damage. Don't exactly know where that came from, but I'd assume that it's going to be the Astro windows there. All of this drone intel still in the back pockets of Beast Coast as well, so they're sitting pretty, at least for the time being.
J90 though still remaining very mobile from his current position, waiting for this to happen as Anthony peeks right into his crosshair. Finally, he's gifted that kill. Had to lose a lot of HP to finally get himself in position to find it, but he will eventually find it. Surf and Slash, though, train things out as they attempt to brute force their way through the statuary door deeper into the site, but it's just not having the best of results. It's a good enough result, though, to keep them in the fight here as it's brought down to a 3v2 with Slash now finishing off J9O. Still need to get themselves onto the actual site, I do believe, though, and that's where problems are going to continue to potentially surface for this squad now that we've seen Astralis peel back, as of course this was just the extension over here inside of Trophy and Statuary, not the actual site. So a big battle, bring things down very quickly to a 3v2. We still have a whole nother area of the map to fight for.
Yeah, with how these teams have been fighting, especially in the latter half of this game, it's just so crazy how often we see a bloodbath on the other end of the map. So many bodies strung along Trophy and Statuary at the current moment. Beast Coast still occupying. Forrest is going to risk it for the biscuit. He's holding the cross in 90. Not only that, but he's been droned out. This is quite the play right now. It's more than likely going to be a swing here momentarily. Going to have one of the players from BC rotate across the mid floor, try to get over towards main stairs, but double back towards red. It looks like they really want to try and go for a vault plant here. A smoke out for DP Fire. That's going to be his last one of the round as well. It's all down to the sheer firepower of Forrest and DP.
Zeno ready to move forward here. Not going to be able to spot much, though, on the initial clear. That actually has a full clear window into the plant, or at least that would be the appearance of it at the start. Forrest making a big play to immediately take out the support. They don't feel the confidence to go for the plant. Now, they're far too worried about what Forrest may attempt to accomplish, and wasn't even from the best position either. He gets the kill, runs out the timer, and with that, Astralis will be able to shut this one down in their favor. Beautifully done, and once again, it's